Hola muchachos, let's talk about the participio en presente perfecto, which is basically the participle in the present perfect. Okay, el participio. What is it? Basically, it's when you start with a verb and make it into an adjective. So, examples. The doors are closed. So that closed, it was originally a verb to close, and then now it describes the doors. Because how are the doors? They're closed. Making closed the participio because it's now an adjective. The chair is used. Same thing. Used is the verb, and then they make it into an adjective, so used. The doll is sat on the shelf. Okay, ahora en español. So the steps to make a participio. You start with the verb in the infinitive form. So we have cerrar, to close. Drop the ending. Add the participle ending. So AR verbs turn to auto, and ER and IR verbs change to ido. So in this case it would be cerrado. Now because it's an adjective, it does have to agree with the noun, meaning it could be cerrado, cerrada, cerrados, and cerradas. Okay, let's continue. One step forward. In order to do it into an incomplete sentence, it would be estar plus participio. There are times when you'll see ser, but most of the time when you use the participle, it will be estar. Let's look at examples. The door is closed. Is temporary because it's just right now. It can always be reopened. So we're going to use estar. So that would be la puerta está cerrada. The boy is lost. El chico está perdido. Okay, now it's your turn. They are married. Remember that you can pause this as you are writing down these examples. Ellos están casados, because the verb is casar, and we're describing them. Están casados. The chair is used. La silla está usada. The baby is dressed. El bebé está vestido. Okay, let's continue. Let's learn the present perfect. Let me just say that present perfect is my absolute favorite grammar. It's my favorite because I feel like it's one of the most used grammar concepts that we use while speaking Spanish. It's actually more used in the preterite tense. Remember, preterite tense is past tense. The present perfect is also past tense, and I just believe that it's used more often, and I really enjoy using it. So, examples of what the present perfect is. I have eaten a good breakfast. So I have eaten would be the present perfect verb. Have you bought the 5 pizzas for today? So have you bought would be the verb. They have paid the bills. They have paid is the verb. In other words, it's something that has been done. Have you ever learned something so interesting? Got it? All right, let's keep going. So, here's the formula. It is haber plus participio. Remember that haber is there is and there are, which is basically I of what we've learned thus far. But now we get to conjugate it. In the past, we've only learned I and that there's no conjugations other than that. Well, now there are conjugations, so it's conjugation time. All right, so for the formula, we start with haber plus participio. Here are the conjugations of haber. We have yo he, tú has, él ha, nosotros hemos, and ellos han. Notice that I did not pronounce the H. All right, so we have all of those conjugations plus the participio, which is hado or ido. Here's an example. I have eaten a good breakfast. Yo he comido un buen desayuno. So, he comido is the actual verb. Even if I was a girl or if I was multiple girls, it would continue to stay into that O form because it's a verb. It doesn't have to agree with anything because it is the verb. The only thing that would change in that is the he, has, ha, hemos, han. But comido always stays the same. Let's look at some more examples. Have you bought the 5 pizzas for today? ¿Has comprado las 5 pizzas para hoy? They have paid the bill. Ellos han pagado la cuenta. Okay, now it's your turn to practice. Remember, you can always pause it as you are writing down the examples. How have you been? ¿Cómo has estado? Shakira has been my best friend for 3 years. Shakira ha sido mi mejor amigo por 3 años. I haven't brushed my teeth today. Really think about this one. No me he cepillado los dientes hoy. So notice that I did put this pronoun of me before the verb because it's one conjugated verb. He cepillado is one verb. So that goes before the conjugated verb. No me he cepillado los dientes hoy. Have they cooked the dinner? ¿Han cocinado la cena? All right, that's it. So if you have any questions, be sure to write them down and we will go over them. Remember, I do believe that this is more used than any other form of past tense in Spanish, so you really want to get a good grasp of this. Okay, have a good day. Adios.